I just wanted to make this recording to go over a common error and how you can avoid having it and fix it when it occurs. This error occurs when you delete the event that's associated with the control, and it's actually a pretty annoying error. It happens all the time. It can happen just because you double click on the control by mistake, and then an event is generated, and then you think, oh, I want to delete that event, and then you go into the code and delete it, and then you run the program and it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cause the error. This happens all the time. So when I'm making examples for videos for this course, and then I'll often do something and then change my mind and delete some event that's associated with the control, and then I run the program and it doesn't work anymore. I get an error. So I'm just going to go over what happens and how you can recover from that error, because it's damned frustrating, frankly, and it's something that shouldn't happen, but it does. And if you don't know how to fix the problem, you'll end up being stuck, and it could waste a lot of your time. So this is aimed to save you time. So what I've done is I'm just going to force this error to occur. I've put a button here. It could be any control. It doesn't have to be a button. It could be it could be a label. It could be pretty much any control you can click on can have an event associated with it. So I've got a couple of controls here. I'm going to run the program just to show that it works. So there's no errors there. The buttons don't do anything. Of course, clicking the label doesn't do anything. Click stop. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm clicking around on here on these controls, and I accidentally double click this label, and what happens? Okay, so the Visual Studio thinks that I am trying to add a click event to label 1, but I'm not. Okay, this was a complete mistake. I didn't intend to add a click event to label 1, but because I accidentally double clicked on the label, it's created that click event. It might not have been a mistake. I might have genuinely wanted to create an event for that label, but then I might have changed my mind later and I want to delete it. So whatever happens, I've somehow ended up with this event, this click event associated with the label, and I want to get rid of it. And of course, the natural thing to do is just to select that and press delete, and it's gone. Okay. So then I go back to my form design, and I see a whole bunch of errors. So the design process the designer cannot process unknown name label click on the blah 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 blah. There's a big long error. You can see this is a little red crosses there. There's something called instances of the error down here on the error list. There's something that's appeared, and basically I can't design the form anymore. It's completely gone away. I can get back to the code, but that doesn't help me much, because this is just basically all default boilerplate stuff. So what am I going to do? Well, to solve this problem, what you have to understand is that Visual Studio generates a whole lot of code automatically. Okay, so even though your program, to you and me, the program is very simple. It just consists of this code here, which basically is nothing. It doesn't do anything. Okay, that's what the program is to us. But to C#, it's actually got a whole lot of other stuff that is hidden from us, and it's not easily accessible, and it's automatically created. So this is like code that is automatically generated by Visual Studio. And down here we can get a hint of this by reading the message. So we've got a big long description, but then we can see that there's a reference to some line 52 in some file, and the file is called form1.designer.cs, which is actually not one of the files that we can see. So we can see form1.cs design and form1.cs. So this is our form1.cs. This is the design view of form1.cs, but we can't see form1.designer.cs. So that is a hidden file, and it contains an error on line 52. So what can we do to recover from this error? Well, what we need to do is double click on this error message, and it will take us to exactly line 52 on form1designer.cs. So let's double click, and what we see here is that there's a whole bunch of rubbish here. So we can see stuff that's basically, this is program code that we didn't write. It's been automatically put there. It's part of the project, but it's something that we didn't do. Okay, and what we can see here is that there's a wavy red line underneath label1.click, and what that's telling us is that this is the line where the error has occurred, and we don't really need to understand what all this means for now, but we can sort of guess that here's label 1, so that was the name of our label. Here's something about a click, so it's sort of label1.click, and it's somehow being associated with label1_click, which has the error. And in fact, the error, basically, if you read it, it says form1 does not contain a definition for label1_click. So it's saying there is no such thing as label1_click. And that makes sense because we deleted it. Okay, let me just undo. Here it is there. There's label1_click. Okay, we undid it, undid the deletion. It came back, and we just pressed delete. And that's what caused the error, because when we deleted that event, the system did not automatically delete this line here. It left it there, and so it was looking for this event called label1_click. So the question is, why was this line not automatically deleted? And the answer is, I don't know, and that's why it's a frustrating error. So to solve the problem, basically you need to go and select that whole line and delete it yourself, and then close this, because you really don't want to be messing around in here. It's a dangerous place to be changing things, so just close this, and we see that the design view has gone back to normal. If we run the program, it works again as well. We can click on the label but nothing happens. Okay, but at least the program's back in a state where it's running. Okay, so I just made this sort of as a bonus video to try and help people who get stuck on this problem, because it occurs all the time. I mean, you frequently need to delete events from your program because they were either put there accidentally because you double clicked on a control, or you just changed your mind and you want to remove that event. Okay, so hopefully if you do come across this error and you've watched this video, you'll be able to quickly solve the problem and move on with your work.